I was away for a week and came back and found out that I was tagged by 4 people. I'm supposed to tell you 5 things about myself. It feels very strange to do because usually when I'm making a video I have something planned that I'm going to say or do, or I'm just showing you something. I'm not talking about myself. But here I get a chance to talk about myself. Okay, 5 things. The first thing is that I have a camcorder, but I don't have a webcam. Right now I'm sitting in my guest room, which I find a comfortable place to hang out in. The room where the computer is, which is a desktop, is not particularly comfortable. It's set up as an office, and it isn't something that I would really like to have in my background anyway. This is much more interesting than the bookshelves in there. My second item is I'm right-handed, but I'm left-eyed. I had a gym teacher figure that out when I was maybe around 11 or 12. We were doing archery, and she said to sight down the length of the arrow, and I couldn't see with my right eye and sight, but I could with my left eye. Even though I had to use a much lighter bow, I could sight down the arrow, and I was actually hitting the target sometimes, which was a lot better than I had been doing right-handed with my strong right arm. I'm a tea drinker, not a coffee drinker. In the U.S. it's much more usual to drink coffee. But I really don't like coffee. It's good as an ingredient when you're making something that calls for coffee being in it. But I don't like coffee. I do like tea, and my favorite tea is Earl Grey. And I make it in a pot that I usually do. I do 4 cups in the pot, and then I have it sitting there to use and to drink for a good part of the morning. I grew up in a house with a lot of music. I'm the only one in the house that doesn't play an instrument fairly well. I always had a little bit of trouble with the coordination of getting the music and my hands and the piano or the violin coordinated to do what I wanted to do. I could think it in my head. As you can tell from some of my other videos, I actually do sing on key. But to make the transition to playing an instrument, I found very hard. The last thing is, quite a few years ago, I was sorting art supplies on a bed in this room, and I took a break, and I went out to the kitchen, and I heard this huge crash, and I came running back. A young wild turkey had flown through a closed window, through the glass, through 2 layers of glass, into the room. As far as I could tell, it flew through, hit the far wall. There were little bits of glass impaled in the wall, fell behind a floor model humidifier, which was empty, knocked the humidifier over. And by the time that I came into the room to try to figure out what was going on, it was sitting on the bed on my art supplies, pooping. And all I could do was slam the door and call my husband at work, because I couldn't even think what to do. And we wound up calling the police. And the chief of police came out and borrowed one of my blankets. And he had one of those things for catching like dogs or animals where you put something around their neck. And he said, this is not going to work for a turkey. But he managed to catch it in the blanket. He took the blanket, he held it up, he's talking to it. He says, okay, he says, you're going to stay right there, and I'm going to put this blanket over your little knobby head, and I'll carry you outside. And the bird was cringing in the corner by my sewing machine, and he took the blanket and he flipped it over the bird and he carried it outside. So if I can find the pictures, I'm going to add them on the end of the video. I'm also going to add a list of the 5 people I tag, and they're supposed to make a video saying 5 things about themselves. And then they should tag 5 people. If they can't come up with 5, because I know some people are very new who I have in mind to tag, very new to YouTube. If they tag somebody they know, that's fine. Or if they ask me, I will find them somebody to tag who maybe they don't know yet. So, bye for now, and I'll see you when I make my next video.